Back, and of course you're still watching Smart Men's Business. My name is Mercy Katsime, and I'm of course with Charlotte here driving you all the way to 9:55 a.m. Hoping you're having a warm and lovely morning wherever you are. Today is just we just left with a few days actually. I'm guessing today is Tuesday. We just left with only 5 days to wrap up the year and begin the 2024 year that everyone is anticipating for. Will you get out of it or lose out of it? It depends on how strategic you will be next year. Well, we're here discussing, and Charlotte was telling me she has a very interesting story about those that were hoping for Christmas money, and of course one
you
of
were asking for Christmas money and present. The Reverend Colonel George William Chito from Njeri district told women it is immoral to ask your husband to buy you an expensive gift and he can't.
When has he ever? Okay, fine. As long as I asked if you cannot afford it, it's okay. But asking, I don't think asking is a problem.
I don't think our men out there, men are actually not romantic.
Really?
Because I don't have to come to you and say, baby, I need Christmas money, I need to do my hair.
You have to know as
well. No. He's supposed to come and say,
I have gotten.
Give me your list over. This is 1 million over 500,000. Take care of home and yourself for Christmas. Now here these things are waiting for us to first be like, I need this, I need that. Ask me for the list in October or September. You prepare yourself. The earlier the better.
Well, there's someone that said a statement. I think someone was saying, Kati, women are the ones, men are going to stay home, and women are the ones to look for the money. Since women are trying to be independent, Miss Independent, you're the one working, so let the men stay behind and we also make the money. So in case there are cases of domestic violence, whoever has the most money is the one that is the most vocal. So if you find, actually, domestic violence is actually there mostly for men. Men are whooped. Seriously.
But they can't talk.
Of course, it will look funny. I'm laughing, it will look funny if you go to police and you're like, my wife is beating me. I'll be like, Toyogera, Tori Musaja, beat her back.
No, actually, this is a real case. These days women have actually made money. Women are actually standing out there and they are CEOs, they are managers. And then she comes back home and then the husband, of course, is there. Of course, if he is earning less, men have that ego thing. I'm the man of the house, so he tends to be offended anytime she talks and he gets angry. So you find that he will say something to her and she'll get angry. She has had a hard day. Even the men, when they come back home, when they've had a very hard day, and then the woman is saying something, that's why you find men are actually slapping women. So I think the tables are turning a little bit here. And some men these days don't want to work anymore. The youth, you find them, they're calling baby in like really.
Wow.
Really? You're asking a woman for money to buy tires? Where did that come from? When did
What do you mean tires? The money you used to buy that car, sell the car and get something.
Of course, we see the Pope kicks off Christmas celebrations in shadow. Tonight our hearts are in Bethlehem, where the Prince of Peace is once more rejected by the fatal logic of war, by the clash of war arms that even today prevents him from finding room in the world, the Pope said. So he decided to do the Christmas celebrations with everything that is going on. But of course he did it and it was there in the shadows a little bit. They didn't want to show that they're really celebrating when these people are having war in their places. So the Pope kicked off the global celebrations like that.
Well, of course, like what is happening, very many countries have been having conflicts, and some were in some experienced climatic disasters like Morocco. Floods have been everywhere in China, even in our very own Kenya, Tanzania. So definitely it was not really happy. But anyway, when you compare East Africa, Uganda and Kenya have the most celebrations. except for Tanzania, because Tanzanians are
There's
usually
a high number
Arabs.
of Muslims,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So definitely that is out. Yeah. So definitely we expect a lot of happening today. Later on today in the evening, starting from 5 till the next day. So the next day, I believe people will start. People are traveling today from the villages to work tomorrow, and hoping that I believe actually people do celebrate fast from the city centers, from their workplaces, work areas, you know, compared to when the Christmas period is out there, because on 2nd you have to go back to work.
Really?
On 2nd.
I thought they give
January?
us until like 5th.
I do not think so.
It is 2nd?
Yes, it's
So we
2nd.
celebrate Ngatuleka.
It's just New Year's.
Of course, speaking of work, we see here yesterday, Bessie Jebanyuma was at church and she said Christians need to work for a change. And this is actually a very good point. You know, Christians have this thing of money is not going to fall out of heaven.
Oh yeah.
So that statement is actually something they should put a pin in. Christians, we need to work for a change. More so that corner,
Those who are going to spend 31st overnight, overnight praying.
Yes, we are going to be praying. But after praying 31st for God to give you financial prosperity, for God to give you a financially stable year, for God to give you customers in your business, it doesn't mean go back home and sleep. It means go out there and actually work. Look for that mullah and actually work for it. Don't wait for it to just come out of nowhere.
I believe actually I can relate to that, what she said actually. You know, very many times we ask God for some things, but then it's about persistence, you know. Even if you're praying for change of work, you know, but you have to show up at your workplace. You have to show up and show determination. You know, visibility is also key. Someone may identify you and be like, you know what, I think Charlotte is good. I can have her do something for my company organization. So whatever you're doing, if you're a youth out there, you don't miss on overnight lunchtime prayer. You're there, evening you're there, Bible study.
Monday to Sunday,
you guys, okay.
Okay, it is not bad to pray. We are not saying don't pray, but we are saying be smart as a Christian. Yes. Because even in business, we have to be smart. Even as a company owner, you have to be smart. You don't just go out there and be gallivanting yourself just like that. So as a Christian, be smart. At the end of the day, God needs a tithe. The church needs funding. So you're not going to sit there and the funding is going to fall out of nowhere.
Actually, I had a Christian friend and they said, they were proposing for businesses. I'm like, why don't you start up a bar? And I was like, oh, that is contradictory. I'm like, who said the Christian can't own a bar? That is,
you're not taking alcohol.
You're not taking alcohol. Yeah, but you know what? You can use that advantage you have to change people. You know, you could have a bar and, tell someone who has been coming every day, I'm like, come on, come like every after 2 days, you can be a wind of change, okay? So there are many things we can do, and you can be a force of change. You can be a Christian and do politics. You can be a Christian and be in accounts. Accounts is one area. My goodness, every company, when it comes to accounts, everyone is like, those guys. But anyway, this a lot has been happening over yesterday, and we are hoping wherever you are, you're really ready and set for that day, because not very many news about Christmas is there. People journalists we're also celebrating their homes, so stories weren't coming in. So wherever you are a reporter of your own, whatever transpired right there, hoping that you were able to update your community and what is happening. So create that WhatsApp group, that caller group, so that you can be, in case of any security, you can have alert. That people have security WhatsApp groups for the community. Well, of course, Andrew is still in Kabalagala. We are still giving you updates on what is happening right there.
Well, as I wind wind up my Boxing Day business tour, I'm definitely here in Kansanga, getting to observe the business still. How is it happening? Remember, we're in March India, we had a trip coming to Kabalagala, and now we're in Kansanga. But when I just reached here, I got to observe that there are quite a few people on the road as compared to other times when you could actually come into this place, and there is quite a huge congestion. Well, somebody could say that it is Boxing Day. I understand, but Boxing Day is still celebrated in areas like this. But how come it is quite limited when it comes to population? Well, it is quite simple. The same problems that are happening in Kabalagala, same applies here. Kampala City Council Authority has been a major player in probably stunting the businesses in this place. That is according, these are not my words actually, according to what people are saying, because I have private interactions with people as I reach here, and they are blaming the Kampala City Council Authority for that. Now, it's just not only about shops being closed because of the paint, but also if you can take a look at that whole road there were quite pretty number of shops that were shut down and locked. Probably some could have been kiosks. You know, people that were operating on the roads were actually chased off, and probably that explains typically why they are not in position to actually purchase any item. So remember, the principle here works that when I'm productive and I'm selling out more and I'm making quite more money, that means my income is increasing, and my income, the stronger my income is, I'm gonna spend, and my expenditure is someone else's income. So people here are not getting enough incomes. Why? Because the people that would support them were shut down. They're out of business. So this is what we are getting to observe still as we have an out tour within Kansanga, as you can really observe. Quite a number of borders here, taxis of course coming in from town side, heading to Bonga side, to Gaba area. But you can see there is still on this other side of mine, where I'm standing actually on the left arm, there is quite a number of shops open as compared to the previous places where we have been. It seems quite pretty busy. It's business as usual. As you can clearly see, it's hardly for you to think that we could be actually even in a Boxing Day bit of celebration. So this is the situation. The businesses are running. Economic activities are running because the economy doesn't favor any person. Majority of them actually to, sit down, relax, close down the shops. They need really to work. They need to have the market share even in the festive season. That is quite a key and important factor. Compare and contrast Kabalagala, Kansanga and Machindia. But Machindia seemed to be a little bit of shut down a little bit as we came to Kabalagala, shut down at the same time. But now Kansanga is a little bit open, despite the fact that the different have been having a huge influence when it comes to the fate of businesses. Area. Take a look at yourself. Yes, the butchers are open. The border stages are actually happening, are also in operation. Seems to be much more congested as compared to the previous places. So it shows you the economic potential that this place is actually such an economic powerhouse, as you can clearly observe in this situation. There is a huge chain of shops, a huge line of shops that are in operation right here. And there is some activity happening actually. It's one thing to have these shops in being opened and there is no activity that is taking place. But there is an activity that is taking place. And because people have to survive at the end of the day, despite the inflation that is happening, the inflation which actually reduced. And you get to realize that I've come to conclude that this year seems to have been not the best. Last year probably could have been a way much more better as compared to this. I now come to conclude, and this is best, the various interactions I've had with various citizens, with various individuals, given different opinions about this particular season, and that clearly gives me a perfect picture of what majority think about this season, 2023, in terms of financial aspects haven't really been the best. But business is happening here. Transactions are taking place vis-a-vis the holiday. And that's what happens in a country where the economy is up and down, prices fluctuating. It's really hard. You can hardly really enjoy Christmas in such a time. As you can see, the road is pretty empty. Like I told you earlier, back then we had quite a number of shops operating here, which were shut down. And shutting down those shops is affecting other people that are transacting in different merchandise on this other side of the city. So probably this goes to the policymakers, most especially the Kampala City Council Authority. What is the answer to these people that seem to be left out? They seem speechless of what is really happening. Something definitely has to be done about that. You can see people are offloading of merchandise off the delivery truck, and of course taking them to other different destinations, which clearly contributes, shows you that it's business as usual. It's business as usual happening here in Machindia. Transactions, that is some pineapples, agricultural commodities that are being transacted here, as you can clearly see. But anyway, let us see, because I really anticipate by the later hours of the day, the place is going to really be inflated with quite a huge number of economic activities. Because if at around this time they are already here, and remember, these are places that are quite full of foreigners, Somalis, Eritreans, so they transact pretty a lot in these areas. So there is increased population in other words. By the fact that the demand is not to the expected, at least it can't be that worse. It can't really be that worse. Because even when I'm interacting with people, they will tell you, well, things are not bad, but they are not the best. At least they are not bad. Now that brings us back to the population factor, which plays a key role when it comes to determining consumption and expenditure in this particular time. It plays out a role, as you can clearly see out. Well, just with 23 minutes, it's just exactly 23 minutes, and definitely I feel like this brings me to the end of our trip, as we are discussing here, as we are definitely here in Kawalagala. We are still in Kansanga, as we are still observing the business atmosphere, as how it is happening. It's business as usual, according to my observation. As of course, people coming in, parking, loading, and so many more of that shots. And well, that definitely brings me to the end of our business trip. It's been a Boxing Day, and I'm actually grateful that you've been able to watch the thrill all the way where we started. And of course, at this point in time, let's take a short break. See you.